Hello everyone, this is the Pug of the Poke community and Pokemon Hackers Online, and this is a tutorial on how to fix any bugs you might have using a hex editor. So I'm going to go ahead and show an example of a bug that I'm going to fix. So let me load my ROM. Alright, so this is the example of how it's supposed to look when I go inside this building. You can see the inside of the building, everything, you can talk to the lady, stuff like that. Well now, if you look at my latest ROM, you'll see that, well, when I try to go inside, it just shows some sort of error and I can't move at all, do anything. So this is obviously a problem, and you're probably wondering, can I fix this, or will I have to go back to using an older ROM and just start over? Well, that's the thing, you don't have to. You can easily fix it using a term we use in troubleshooting called half splitting. So, go to hex editor, and then I use HxDen for my editing. You're going to go to analysis, file compare. You're going to choose, alright, so in order to fix any bugs you might have, you need to have a version of your ROM where whatever state you're trying to fix, like for example, the state of the inside of the building, you have to have a functioning version. So right now I have one that is working and one that isn't working. So I'm going to load my older ROM, which is working, and my newer ROM, which isn't working. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now, whenever you're doing this, an easy method that I use is I like to make copies of the file I'm working on. So if I'm trying to fix 0.3.4 for my hack, I'll just make a copy of it and then just work on that and see if I can fix it. And if it works, then I'll just make it into the new latest version. Alright, so right off the bat, you can see that there's different values inside of the two ROMs. So if you want to be careful on what you edit, because you don't want to just replace stuff. Like right now, where I'm at, this is for the fairy type patch that I've had in my hack. So if I decided to just overwrite half of the entire ROM, then I might lose stuff like that. So what we need to do is we need to half split to get to where exactly our problem is. So right now I'm going to go ahead and look. You can just use any offset to start you off with. So, and I know that based off of my advanced map, that my event headers and most of the maps are in the E thousands. Here, let me show you. Alright, so if I go to the inside part of my buildings, I go to header, I see that the event offset and the map footer offsets, they're at E4 and thousands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my hex editor, and I'm going to Control G, which is to go to an offset, and I'm going to choose any random offset to start off with, just to see. Now, what you can do is you can completely copy the working ROM and paste it over the ROM that's not working, just to verify that it does work and that now you just need a half split. So let's say I'm going to E60,000 for the offset. So even though I know that you see there's free space in the old ROM and it's used by something in the new ROM, it doesn't matter because we're not trying to actually, we're not going to copy everything and paste it when we're done. We're just looking for where the error is and how to fix it to where it was before. So now that we have a offset we want to start with, I'm going to go ahead and show you again that the error is still existent. We're currently using 0.3.4 copy. So I'm going to go ahead and go inside the building. Alright, you see that it's still not working. I'll go ahead and make it bigger if I can. Alright, so you can see that there's all these errors. I can't move at all. So now I'm using this offset. So I'm going to go to Edit, Select Block. Then for Start Offset, just put 0. And then your End Offset is obviously going to be what you want to start with. And I'm using E60,000. So you're going to go ahead and it's going to highlight all of that information from this ROM. You're just going to right click and copy. Then you're just going to bring your ROM that's affected all the way to offset 0. And then you're just going to right click on offset 0 and click paste right or control B. You never paste insert because it'll actually insert it and it'll push all the bytes forward, and then your ROM will just be completely screwed at that point. So paste right. And once it's all nice and right, click File, click Save. Now we're going to test our ROM again to see if it's working. If it's not working, then we need to go further into the ROM. If it is working, we need to go back some. This is all an effective part of troubleshooting and half splitting, also known as divide and conquer. Alright, so here we go. You can see that it's clearly working. You can see all of our scripts are still working. I'll go ahead and I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. Alright, so now we know that somewhere before E60,000 the ROM is working. So what I like to do is I like to take a notepad and just make a like a little chart of where I've been. So I'll go ahead and make this text bigger so you can see it. Let's go with. Alright. So E60,000, we know that it's working. So what you could do is, if you wanted to, you can go to like E40,000. If you wanted to, you can go to E40,000. You can go to Bravo 457 Charlie 2, whatever you want to do. It depends on where you think the problem might be. Personally, what I like to do is I like to completely just divide it in half. So let's say the offset's at E60,000. I'll go to Extreme Script Editor. I'll put that part inside of hex. I'll go to decimal, click divide by and 2, and then convert it back to hex. And now I know that now if I half split, it'll take me to 730,000 for the offset. So I'm going to copy that, and now we have updated our ROM to where it's actually working. So now what we need to do is make it to where it's not working so that we can again try to figure out where it's at. So we know that it's working right now because we overwrote most of the ROM. So, and we don't want that. We just want to overwrite the area where there's a bug. So we're going to delete the ROM we were just working on, and we're going to make a copy again of the ROM that's not working. So right now this file again is not working. So now I go to hex editor again, analysis, file, compare, reopen that ROM. Now you're comparing them again. So now I'm going to go that offset that I got from Extreme Script Editor. So Control G, and it's going to take me to 730,000. And then from there, just go ahead and click Edit, Select Block, Start Offset as 0, End Offset, same offset we want to do it. And this is pretty much just a routine thing you're going to do until you figure out the two ends. One end where you know it's working, and one end you know it's not working. So I'm going to paste right, and save it and open up the ROM again. Alright, let's see if it's working at this offset. Alright, it appears to be working, but now look, we've somehow messed up the entire map. So it's working before 730000 also, so even though it's messing up something else, we know that the building inside itself is working. So we can go ahead and type it in here as working. Alright, so you can go ahead and half split it again. So go to decimal, divide by 2. Now our new offset's going to be at 398000. Copy that. Close the now working ROM out. Delete the copy. Make another copy of the ROM that's not working. Go back to your hex editor. Analysis file compare. Choose the broken ROM again. And we're back to the same process once again. So now I'm going to copy that offset I got again. You don't have to necessarily choose to go to Control G. If you want, you can just right off the bat, just go to Edit, select Block, then just type 0 in the first start offset, and then in the end offset, you can just Control V to just paste your offset you want to go to. Alright, so now that we got the new offset, we're going to 398000. Same process, go to offset 0 on your broken ROM, and click File and Save after you write into it. Now go ahead and open up your ROM again, and let's see if it's still not working. Alright, there we go. Now we know at 398000 it's still not working. So we can go ahead and put that in here. I like to make a little space so that the middle one, once we're done, is the offset we know is working. Alright, so go ahead and write 398000 is not working. Alright, so now pretty much what you can do is, if you want, you can take this offset and you can subtract this offset, and then you can divide it by 2 and then add it to this offset to get something new if you want, or you can just go ahead and randomly choose something in the middle. So let's see, 40 is practically 400,000 and 700,000, so in the middle I'd say probably about, I'm going to try 550,000 for the offset. So I'm going to go ahead and now, since this ROM is still not working, we can actually still use the ROM inside the hex editor until it is working again. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this offset, edit, select block. I'm going to paste the offset. I copy it, go back to 0, paste right, save. Now this will tell us if this is eliminating a lot of bytes. Like, you're looking about maybe 2 megabytes of space that you're probably just overwriting completely, or more. Alright, so we're going to see if this is working now. It is working, but again, it seems that we've messed up something out here. So, we can go ahead and say that it is indeed working. So now we've eliminated to say that our bug is between 398,000 and 550,000. So now we can go ahead and go in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and use 4 or 550,000 now. So now that it is working, you have to delete the ROM again and redo it. So copy, paste, and then reopen your hex editor. Open it again. I'm going to select between 450,000 Copy and write. Save. Open your ROM. And it's not working again, so we're gonna go ahead and say that this is not working. So now we know that it's between 450,000 and 550,000. Now you can look for common problems inside of Advanced Map if you want. Like look at offsets inside of Advanced Map. So if I go to File, Load ROM, open up the ROM, it's not working. Go to 9 or go to your map itself, and then you just look at your header. Right here in the header, it shows that showing 485 and 483,000 and 486,000. Now we know our offsets are our problem is between 450,000 and 550,000. So we can go ahead and use this as a little help. We can go ahead and try and copy between let's see, maybe 480,000 and 550,000 to see if it's working. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright. Let me just verify it's not working. Alright. So I'm going to go to Edit, Select Block, 480,000 and 550,000. What the hell is this doing? Alright, there we go. Now, you gotta be careful on this because we're not actually selecting the entire ROM. We're just selecting a part of it. So I selected from 480,000, so I need to go to the broken ROM, click Control G, and go to 480,000. Alright, then I'm gonna go ahead and paste, right, and then click Save. And I'm pretty sure that it's gonna work. There we go, it's working. So now what we can do is we can close out that ROM. We can determine that it's between 480,000. Well, we know this is working, so. But it's not necessarily in the loop of, we don't know if it's actually working or not working, so we're just going to keep that there for now. So just go to our ROM again, delete it. And then open it up again. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and try something for myself. Edit, select block from between 480,000 and 485,000. So it's not going to be a big chunk, but we're going to see if it's fixed inside of that. So now we're going to go to our new ROM and then, or our broken ROM, and go to the 480,000 and click right, paste right, and save. I'm going to check it, see if it's working or not. Alright, there we go. So it's obviously going to be somewhere inside of 480 and 45,000. Alright, cool. So now we know that we can just go ahead and do this too, since I haven't actually tested if it's 480,000, if it's working or not. but I can guarantee you it's not working. 485,000. So we've brought it down to about 5,000 bytes of hex data. So now if you want, you can just go ahead and start testing from like 480,000 to 425,000, all that good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just show you that it's not working real quick with 480,000. So we're going to delete that, make a copy, file compare again, and then I'm going to select the 480,000, copy it, and then just write it over. Now if we go inside of our ROM and we try and load it, as you can see, it is not working. Just like I have said, 480,000 is not working. So now what we can do is we can choose between 480,000 and 485,000. So I'm going to choose, for right now, the block between 48 and 4825. So I'm going to edit, select block, 480,000, 4825. Alright, now go to 48000, blah blah blah. Same steps as we've been doing. Paste right, save, open ROM, rinse and repeat. That's pretty much why it's called divide and conquer. You're just trying to figure out where exactly it's having a problem. So here you can see that it's working. So the problem now lies between 480,000 and 482,500. So this is working. So now we're getting closer and closer. We went from 0 to 730,000 to where exactly our problem is. Now you can use this for anything. I've used it to fix my fairy patch. I've used it to fix a couple bugs I've had where I can't even get through the intro without it just stopping. You can just use this for anything. As long as you're being careful and you're using backups, make sure you back up everything you do, and that's what we're doing. We're using backups to go ahead and compare files. We're not actually overwriting any information we want to keep. So now we're going to go back to our newly broken ROM again, and now I'm going to choose between, well, I'm just going to half split again. So I'm going to go to about, yeah, we'll go to about that offset and see if it's working. So go to your not broken ROM, select the block from 480,000 to our new offset 48130. Go to 480,000 again, paste right, file save, file open, and it's not working. So now we can go ahead and determine that the problem itself lies between 481300 and 482500. So now that we have such an area that you can really work with, what you can do is, now that we can go to after, we can just start looking at what could be the problem between 481 and 483. It could be some space that was overwritten with other data, or it could be simply something that accidentally got deleted altogether. You can have an area where it's just completely zeros or completely Fs. Somehow you could have done it. That's what happened to my ROM in past 2 instances. So I just looked real quick, and I don't see any instances of zeros or Fs that really look out of line unless it's at a pointer itself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and choose between 481 and let's go with 48. I'll just do like 1 Charlie. Let's see if that's working. So go to your not broken ROM, select block. So you're going to choose from 481,200. Correction 30. And your new offset is your end offset. Copy it. Go to 481,300 on your broken ROM and paste it. File, save, and now you saved it. You're gonna go ahead and open up your ROM, see if it's working, and it's not working. So now we've actually established that it's some point between 481C 3 and 2 zeros against 482500. So now we can go ahead and half split again. So we know between there's D, F, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Alright, so that's, let's see, 7. So I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and do, I'll go ahead and try out 482. Yeah, we'll try this one. So it's still not working, as we can see. So now I'm going to choose between this offset and this offset. So select block 481 C00 and 482200. Make sure you select the right ROM when you're doing that. God damn it, come on. And alright, and then just go to your offset that you're pasting on, 481 C00. Alright, and then go ahead and paste right, file, save. Check it out, still not working. So now we know that it's between 482200 and 482500. So we're really isolating it. So if you don't fully understand the problem, at least you can just paste over a certain area of bytes and it won't affect any other area of your game. This is going to only affect the map you're working on, because you know somewhere in there it's probably just holding the map data for that map. And if you don't really care on how much data you write, then you could probably just, use some big block to fix it if you wanted to. But right now I'm just trying to get isolated down to an area where I know it's working. So I'm going to try and use 2400 to see if it's in there. So you're going to select from 482. I think I keep doing this. I'll just go ahead and start copying them. So you select between the block you want to write. Again, make sure you always have this one ready. Copy, go to your offset, 482200. Paste right, file, save. Open the ROM again. And it's working, so we know that now this is working. So you got a small margin of area that you're going to be overwriting. This is going to fix your bug, and you're not going to be overwriting anything unnecessary to fix your bug itself. This way, it's a fix easy way of fixing your bug and actually keeping any data. Like, let's say I went ahead and added like 1,000 moves to my game, but I find one bug, and now I don't want to go back to try and fix it. So now I can just use this method, and I'll actually get to keep my data and just fix the area that's wrong. So now I'm going to select between 482 and 4823. 482200 and 482300. Now you can see it's a small area. Very small. You look at the area, it's probably one of these offsets that are actually wrong. But we'll just go ahead and paste right. So some point in this data could be the problem. So we're going to go ahead and open up the ROM itself again just to see. And so we can see that it's not working still. So now we know it's between 4823. So that's bringing it down to only 100 bytes of space that we're going to be replacing if necessary. So now if you want, you can just go in the middle for that. So 4823 to 4824, I could just have that on screen. That's between, here, I'll show you what it looks like. 4823, 4824. It's literally only 100 bytes. So you can do the same here, and you can just compare them, because we know that somewhere in these bytes lies our bug. So if you did, like let's say we went to 4823, 482300 on both of our ROMs, you can click function 6, which will compare to the next byte that's different. So the next byte that's different is at this offset. And now we're comparing between 4824 and 4823, so make sure you don't leave that area. So shift F6 and you can go back. So what it appears to be is there's only two offsets that are completely different. So what we could do is we can go to this offset to see if there's a problem with it. So 872058. You can look at it if you want. But I have found that the area where the problem is right here. So now if I go to 4823D0 and I paste the only thing that's different, literally that's, what was that, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 bytes of data that you're overwriting your ROM that has all your new data but has the bug. Just to fix the bug, you're only overwriting 12 bytes. File and save. Now let's test to see if it's wrong, right, and if it's working. And there we go. 12 bytes of data. You fixed any bug you might have accidentally added. Now, in the past, when I've actually fixed bugs, like the fair type, there's certain bugs that you might have to fix a lot of bytes, but that comes with how big the bug is and how much you want to actually save. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you can learn from it and try and use this method. If you have any problems or questions about how to use this method, of course, go ahead and contact me. So at the end, we know that our problem lied within this offset. And there we go.